Okay, this is a good video I want to share on. It's basically law of attraction, really. If you're a high value woman, then you're going to attract a high value man. You can't attract a low value man. Your frequency is going to be different, and the low value guy, so called, is going to be different. So you guys won't really see each other. Maybe the low value guy will see you because he's tuned on physical level, and maybe he's like, oh yeah, whatever. But then you're not even gonna like whatever. You do that now anyway, I'm sure. So now, what does a high value guy look like though? Again, I'm just using words to point to something. This whole high value, low value, whatever. But you know what I'm pointing to. This is most important. I wrote some things down because I don't want to miss stuff, because this topic's important. Oh yeah. So you see, the main thing, a high value guy, he's going to be self-contained because you are too. You're also self-contained. You're not looking for a guy to fill you up emotionally, physically, sexually, any which way. You're somehow you're okay. You're good. You see, this is important. So you're going to attract somebody else that's for the most part good. So he doesn't need your sex. He doesn't need your validation or your compliments or your female energy, so he doesn't feel alone or insecure, and he doesn't need you as arm candy. He doesn't need all that. Does it mean he's indifferent? No. He'll still enjoy your sex. He'll enjoy when you compliment him because it'll be authentic. You're not working him, right? Because you're high value. You don't need to work him. You're not manipulating him via compliments and trying to get him excited so that then he can do something that you want him to do, because you're good. You don't need him to do anything for you. But when he does something for you, you appreciate it. You understand? You have your cake and you eat it too. This is what's happening. And he's doing the same. Now, well, sometimes little things come up. We fall back into identity and the old emotions or something take us over. That's cool. Yeah, that happens. But if you're high value, you're going to hold space for that. You're going to understand. Then later you make amends to each other or something. Like, man, I got a little, I was a little imbalanced before, my bad. Oh, no problem. Just make sure you do the same for me when I get imbalanced. So you can have a nice dialogue like that, because you don't take yourself so serious. You understand that the human show is imperfect, okay? But you've reached a high enough level in yourself to where you don't just live in this low-level human ego self anymore, because it's just miserable, You've transcended that. All right, what else? So see, this thing. So I don't know. We're gonna get a little deep. A real high value man encourages independence. He wants you to be independent. He wants the woman to be independent. He doesn't want to foster some dependence on him. Not just because he doesn't want to deal with it and he don't want you to take all his money, but he knows that's not serving you. That's not helping you, And he's not afraid to tell you the truth. This is the big thing. See, a high-value woman knows if she trusts her man, she knows, he's not just going to be talking shit. If he says something, she can read his energy. When he says certain things, it's like, okay, I need to listen to this. Even if the mind don't want to listen, it's just something's like, no, I need to listen though, because even if it doesn't feel good, she trusts the guy. And see, the guy won't be able to hold back. He has to speak when something authentic's coming because he loves you. He's not going to be in a compromising relationship where he just everybody sweeps everything under the carpet and pretends it doesn't exist, and then they go out in public, I'm so happy, here's my, yeah. No, they stay current and present with each other, so they need to, that requires, when things come up, they need to get processed by sharing about it. Like if you do something that's kind of out of order, he's going to tell you about it. Say, look, when you did that like that, I don't know, it somehow it didn't feel authentic. It felt like you were maybe coming from fear or something like that. I'm just checking with you. Like, can we look at that? Because it somehow, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way. And then you do the same with him too when things come up. That's healthy. It's healthy. You don't need to go to a therapist. You guys are the therapists for each other. I had a girlfriend about, 8 years ago. It's this thing. She and me, we were going to the market. She was younger. She was like 30. And we were walking up the stairs to go to the fruit market, organic market. This is in Ecuador. I noticed there was like 4 guys. This was like a Saturday morning. So they'd probably been drinking Friday night, and now they're, So we walk up the stairs. There were 4 guys. It's just obvious, like very low level frequency. Like you don't go around, like even an animal wouldn't go around them, right? You just smell like something. You're just like, okay, whatever. So they're calling out to her. Oh, yeah, hey. What does she do? She goes over to them. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. And then they start, they were gonna grab her or something. Oh, leave me alone. And then she comes back to me. They weren't doing it in an aggressive way. Look, I'll take care of business if I need to, but at the same time, I'm not going to rob her of a lesson that she needs to learn either. This intuitively comes, She's like, oh, bad guys, like they were trying to grab me. I'm like, but why'd you go over there? Like, you can't tell. Like, why would you go over there? You got nothing to give them at all on any level. They're very low level mentality. Like, why would you even go over there? Well, it's just being nice. And no. You need to have some wisdom. You can't just spirituality. You're wise. Like, you don't do things that are like stupid, basically. So anyway, we talked about that, and okay. But what's my point? See, when you meet when you attract a higher level guy, he's not going to support victimhood. And a higher value woman also doesn't support victimhood in the guy. He's not going to let you use him to cover up something that you're not dealing with that you need to deal with. For example, if a girl was working somewhere, I'm trying to remember so I can give you a real example, but she, this is even longer ago, that's why I can't remember, but she was complaining about her boss or something. And boss doesn't treat me good, and like this and that, and there was some expectation of that I'd be like, yeah, bad boss, I'm gonna go handle it. So, but then I'm like, well, let's look though. Let's see. Okay, your boss is not treating you good. Why are you there? Because she didn't need to be there. Actually, she had some money and she could get another job easily. But she wanted to play the victim role and want me to somehow support that. Make her be on her side. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't authentically do that. Not after she explained the story. It just didn't make sense. I've said before, I think, I've said it on other channels, but in the 12 steps, on step 10, it says somewhere in the book, it's a spiritual axiom. Anytime I'm disturbed, no matter what the cause, it's my fault. That's heavy, isn't it? That's a great spiritual principle. You practice that, you're gonna transcend and evolve fast. It's gonna accelerate everything. Whenever I have a problem, I need to look and see what's my part. The ego doesn't want to do that. It just wants to blame. That's cool. It's not like they don't have a part. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying to be free, you need to look at your part, and then you decide. Wisdom, discernment determines: is this worth? Is there some remedy here? Can something be worked out and brought back into a balance? Or do I need to leave? You can apply that to your job, your relationships, whatever. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to check and see, like, is there any lesson here for me to learn? Can I have more compassion for the person? Instead of just, stop looking like, am I right? It doesn't matter, right. Forget right. Yeah, because many times we're right, but we can still be wrong. Because being right, it depends how we're trying to be right. Sometimes let the other person be right even though they're wrong. That's compassion. In that moment, sometimes it's felt to do that. You see, we got to read the language of intuition, not of mind. Okay, what else? Did I miss anything else? Yeah. So this, in summary, see, relationships aren't meant to be like the Hollywood movies portray. It's just some happy, like, oh, we're in love, we're in love forever, oh, I love you. That's going to be an aspect of it, but that's not the main thing. The main thing is relationships, God uses those to really stretch us, to dig underneath the nails and find out what's hiding there that we're not looking at. Relationships will bring that up. Bring up all of our insecurities, our expectations. It exposes ego in a way that, like, most things don't. You can't just meditate your way to freedom, to spiritual freedom sometimes. We need relationships. And the universe will prescribe those. And if we're open, we'll see. You see, high value man and woman know that. They know that somewhere. So it's, in a sense, they welcome the challenges. Even if it rocks you to your core, it's like, no, this is good somehow. This is good. Otherwise it wouldn't be happening. And they don't have these false expectations that, like I said, the relationship be like some Hollywood love story. Some fantasy thing. Because your relationship is never going to measure up to that. Why is it that a lot of young people, they have... I was just young, like a minute ago, It's like, what happened? It's weird. I'm still young, by the way. Yeah, that's the problem. See, inside I feel like I'm still like a teen or something. So it's weird. It's weird, like creation's weird. It's cool, though. Damn it, what was I going to say, though? About... they're not the Hollywood fantasy. Oh, a high value man and woman know. They know that. They're not measuring their relationship up against some movie they watched or some fantasy in their mind. See, when we're younger, that's what I was going to say. Why do we just go through relationships like we're changing clothes? A lot of people, I didn't. I've only had like 3 really good ones. So good that I'm satiated now and I don't need them anymore. Like, they're cool, but I'm done, organically done. At the same time, universe sends, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not really holding any position about anything. So when we're young, though, a lot of people, it's like every week, like, oh, I got a new relationship. Oh, I got another relationship. Why? Why is it when you get older, I'm generalizing, it's like, when a girl and guy get together later in years, it's almost, they can stay together longer. And some just surrender and they stay together until they die, even though they're not happy. Why? Because they've been there, done that. They see that, like, they don't have the Hollywood fantasy is not going to come true. I'm going to meet the rich guy and he's going to love me, or like the movie Pretty Woman, remember? This is the irony. I've interviewed a lot of prostitutes when I was in Thailand because I was just curious. And they looked healthy. They're not on drugs, and it's not like the West, And they're all over the place, and they keep trying to talk to me, and because they'd see I was single, and so that's cool. But I turned it into an interview because I was interested. It's like, and this is what the Pretty Woman movie did with Richard Gere and Julia Roberts. It's like the prostitute wants this knight in shining armor to rescue her, and then and take care of her and see that she's good, and like that. But see, if you have the prostitute vibration, you're not going to attract that. That's the thing. You're going to attract the guys that just want sex. So then the guys that just want the sex, they want the the hooker to see what a nice guy they are inside, and they want her to love him, and again, just another ridiculous mental fantasy. So then Hollywood made the movie, though. And that's what happens. Julia Roberts was like a high-class prostitute. She meets Richard Gere. He was the knight in shining armor, and he took care of, in the end, they're like happily ever after or something. It doesn't work like that. So when you get older, you like realize that. And then you're like, okay, I found a person, they're decent enough, I'm just gonna stay with them. Like, I don't want to go back out there, man, it's too much work. Or you just stay alone. a lot of women, men, especially those that are deeply devoted to, you can say, self-realization, and they've already had sufficient experience in relationships, they just somehow want to be alone. I mean, they're open if they, but they're not looking anymore. They're not like looking. They've realized via experience, like, that's not where you're going to find your true peace, is in a happy relationship. Actually, the happy relationship is a byproduct of you finding your true peace. It's an after effect. But if you don't find it, and if you found your true peace and you don't get the relationship, that's also cool. All that matters is you find your true peace. This is the bottom line. Sammy Love is the answer. I feel she knows this. She knows this. But she's not 18, you see. So if you're young, but even some of the young ones, I was interested. I was like, will I get any younger girls that watch these videos? Because I just, when I was younger, I don't know. I think this message would be very uninteresting. Actually, it wasn't, though. I liked Marianne Williamson. I read all her books back then, Return to Love, Enchanted Romance. I still remember them. But I guess what I'm saying is, for most girls, I don't think they'd be interested in this when they're, in their younger years. So I'm happy because I've got a couple comments already. They're like, "No, man, I'm 18. Like, I'm down." Oh, cool. So that's cool. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I do consultations if you're interested. I have my email on the banner. And like I said, I have this spiritual channel, which is the main goal. I have 4 channels, but my spiritual channel is the main goal. So I'm fishing for people in my other channels to bring them to the spiritual channel, because that's where you can say real freedom is. And it's called Spiritual Renaissance. And the link is in the YouTube home channel page. All right, have a good day.